Hey guys, what's going on? Peter J. Cruz here. Thanks for stopping by. We're live Friday night. It's 9 minutes past 10 o'clock Central Time. I'm late. Yeah, I'm here. So give me points for that, right? So give me a second here. I'm going to try to acclimate. I had a bunch of stuff going on here at the house after I got home from work, so I'm still getting caught up. And I'll need just a moment here. Hold on. All right, we can do that. I'm just repositioning windows and stuff. I do have a tour. In fact, I'm going to make a note here for myself. Studio tour, which I know I've had a million notes already done about that before. But I'll be doing a studio tour here. Won't be today. I'm still cleaning up. Holidays are a busy time, and I have a mess, and I'm doing a lot of throwing of other stuff, junk out and whatnot. So just been kind of going through it step at a time. I just had surgery too, so a lot of stuff I couldn't do because I couldn't lift anything heavier than 10 pounds. So it's been kind of coming along slowly. So I've almost got the studio ready to go. I still got some stuff I got to clean up and throw out, whatever. Bear with me here. And so what was I going to say? Right. So once I've got everything all cleaned up, set up, and about 99% of the way I like it, I'm going to go ahead and do a studio tour. I'll do a video. I mean, it might be like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 hours long. Not really. And it'll just be a tour of the studio, the gear, setup, whatever. One thing that you will see in this video is some of the construction elements that I have in the studio. Now, seeing a studio tour video on YouTube, there's a million of them, okay? Just about any guy on YouTube who has a video channel or a channel on YouTube, they have anyone more than like 2 subscribers, and they do music. I don't care if they do hip-hop. I don't care if they do metal. I don't care if they do jazz or rock or whatever. They sing covers and karaoke or whatever. If they have like a little home studio, they've done a tour of their home studio at one point or another. And I've probably seen half a zillion of them, okay? Well, one thing you never see in these home studio videos, actually, I take that back. There's one that I found actually went into the actual construction of the studio, and as well as the gear and everything that was contained inside the studio software, the computer, the microphones, the whole thing, right? So this one, and this was Graham Cochran from the recordingrevolution.com. Love your stuff, dude. Love your stuff. All the other studios, they just, they go over there, they put RLX on the walls or Prime Acoustics or whatever. They put this up there and they put that up there. They have this amp, they have this preamp, they have this recording interface, they have this computer, which is all fine and dandy. But I think on mine, because this is a new building, this is a new construction, this is our house, okay? It's my home studio. We built this house it's going to be 5 years now. So we've been here about, just under 5 years. And when my wife and I decided on the house and we looked at the floor plans and we sketched it all out, hey man, what's up, Rex? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. How you been doing? I don't know what kind of delay I'm running. I didn't even look at the settings. I just kind of like hit live and go. I got to work late. I have to go and check out the. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But cold, yeah, no doubt, dude. Yeah, I left work at 9. excuse me. I left work at 9, and God, it was like my truck was telling me it was like 31 degrees when I was driving home, and I was like, holy crap! It's like never below like 50 in Texas, or at least in Houston. So, well, small exaggeration, but anyway. So I got home and I was like, oh, I got to double check all our pipes, because it's a thing in Texas, at least in southeastern Texas. In the wintertime, you've got to double check if it falls below freezing. You got to double check your pipes, make sure they're all wrapped and cozy and stuff like that, with either insulation of one sort or another, or blankets or whatever, so they don't freeze overnight. And if it's really cold, then you've got to leave your faucets dripping overnight and so forth at every faucet outlet or whatever inside the house. Standing water or whatever that actually would freeze inside the pipe and whatever. So as long as you got some kind of a flow going. So when I got home from work, I had to double check everything along the outside of the house. Now I'm too lazy to remove them in the spring, so I just leave it in there all year long. But most of it's like obscured anyway, or like where landscaping's covering it or whatever, so no one's going to see it anyway but the landscapers. But this way I have to mess with it, because usually when I find out that, like, oh crap, I didn't wrap the pipes, then like it's like 30 degrees outside and I'm out there like trying to fight the darkness and everything else, going, oh, I forgot to wrap the pipes. So I went to go double check everything. Everything was still wrapped, so we're good. I found one new one pipe that actually goes into the pool that wasn't wrapped. Well, actually, it wasn't even a pipe. It was more like the faucet, the drain part thing or whatever. So I went ahead and wrapped that up real quick. But everything else on the outside was okay. And I also turned the pool on too, to get the water circulating overnight. So I wouldn't have any problems with freezing water in the pump or in the pool or whatever. So anyway, so getting back to the studio tour. And so that's why I'm kind of late. So after running around the house and doing all that stuff, that ran me a little while, and then I had to go grab just a really quick bite to eat, and then run up here. That's why I'm a few minutes late. So my apologies in advance or in retrospect or whatever about that. But anyway, so now back to the studio tour. So we built this house just under 5 years ago, and from the get-go, my wife and I were like, okay, well, we want, God, what was it? 5 bedrooms, 5 baths. I don't remember the exact numbers. We kind of like it said, oh, okay, we want a piano room. We want a formal living, formal dining, kitchen. She wanted an island in the kitchen. So we went off through all this criteria. We got we went with David Weekly, and we got the floor plan and everything. There's modifications to it and everything. And I told her, okay, this is going to be a pretty sizable investment, and I'm sure I'm going to love the house, but I want to love the house even more. So I want to take bedroom 5 and turn it into my home studio, the studio of my dreams. I didn't have to twist her arm. She was like, yeah, that's fine. Let's do it. So from the get-go, during the construction phases and the planning phase and everything, we actually designed in specific criteria that I had wanted for the actual studio. And I will go over all that in specifics during the actual studio tour. And again, that's not something that you will see or hear in most of the studio tour videos that you see on YouTube. Like, for example, like the electrical here in the studio is separate from the rest of the house, because I didn't want any ground loop issues, or if the refrigerator kicked on or the AC unit kicked on, I didn't want to get any electrical line noise coming in through the electrical circuits, because there's a shared breaker or whatever. So it's kind of a completely isolated panel from the rest of the house. And let's see, the room itself is actually a dual sheetrock, the dual shell of sheetrock. So you've got the initial framing on the outside, which has got the sheetrock on the outside. And then you've got a layer of this acoustic isolation material, which we end up using green. Oh, can you hear me now? you hear me now? Let me take a look here. Hold on. You go. Oh, I can't do it from this way. Still warbled. What the hell's going on? I mean, unless it's Comcast, because my system is running smooth and I'm not running any other programs, but Google Chrome. Damn, really? What the hell? All right, let me. Hello, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I turned it up. I don't know if that's going to help it. And I don't see any of the settings I can really mess with. Okay, so this crap. Same, but just louder, right? You know what? Perfect. Perfect. Damn. I wasn't expecting this kind of crap. Now, you know what? Let me do something here. Let me see if this. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Is this any better, Rex? All right. Maybe it was the webcam. I don't know. I was running off of the webcam audio for it just because, like I said, I got home late and last thing I wanted to do was sit there and mess around with all the gear and setting up the mixers and all that other stuff. So I just went ahead and plugged the webcam in and ran with video and audio off of the webcam. So, all right. So I guess back to the studio construction. We were at right. So I had them put the electrical on a separate circuit. The room itself, the whole outside wall of the walls of the studio are 2 layers of sheetrock. God, would they use 1/2 inch? I don't remember now. Close enough, right? 2 layers of sheetrock, and in between the 2 layers of the sheetrock was an acoustical isolation material called green glue. So if you look up green glue online, you'll see that. I mean, you use it for sound isolation purposes and so forth. So we use that all the way around the room, and on the floor we have the floorboards. The actual, the plywood, whatever, floorboards. Then over that, we've got an acoustical layer of rubber on top of the floorboards. Then we've actually got the carpet padding, and then we've got the carpet. So, and the actual shell that goes around the room goes into the closets. So the back wall of the closet's actually part of the shell that goes all the way around the room. And the wall also continues along, where that curtain is there, behind you here, and then all the way around. So we didn't do the ceiling. There was a reason we didn't do the ceiling, and I don't remember what exactly it was, but don't know if it was some kind of code or local code or I don't know. I don't even remember now. But anyway, so we didn't do the ceiling, but I figured at this point my purpose of sound isolation. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and crank a Plexi Marshall, on 10 at 2 o'clock in the morning. And even if I did, even if I isolated everything completely, I still wake the family up, I'm sure. Those suckers are loud. Well, you know what, Rex? Rex is asking, that must have been a lot of work to do that much customizing. And reality is, we just told the builder what we wanted. And so they ran us options and stuff. And we're like, yeah, let's do that. And it sounds good. I kind of had an idea, so I had a hand in like what all was done. So I was able to select, okay, I want to use a green glue. We want to use 2 layers of sheetrock, and that should do a tremendous amount of sound isolation within the shell of the room. Then I would need to look at floor, and they got with a consulting company or whatever, and they said, okay, yeah, well, they suggested we do like a rubberized acoustical foam, something or other, some kind of rubberized thing that goes on the floor under all the carpet padding and everything else. So we went ahead and did that. And then we did all the electrical outlets also in the studio have an acoustical layer of sound isolation material inside the outlet. So even in the boxes and stuff, if you remove them, there's actually some kind of a thingamajig on the inside to help isolate and block sound and so forth, which is really, really cool. I had never seen that before. That was new for me. So they really did a really, really good job. We isolated the electrical. We isolated the rooms acoustically. I mean, not the ceiling, but I don't play here loud enough really for that to be a problem. And I mean, worst case scenario, I'm in here mixing or whatever. I've got this, the most studio monitors on. Let's say it's late at night. The kids are sleeping next. My master bedroom is right below, and the kids are sleeping in 2 rooms next to us. And hold on, Rex. I'll get to that in a second. So, I mean, I'm not going to wake anybody up because I'm not going to play anything loud enough that would wake them up given the setup. If I didn't have this setup, I probably would wake them up, and I probably would have to use headphones to do mixing if I was going to mix at like 1 o'clock in the morning. But I'm pretty confident with what I have that wouldn't be any issue if I wanted to turn the studio monitors on to mix or listen to music or whatever. I wouldn't have any issues at all. Rex is asking, that must have been a lot of work. Okay, we did that. Have you tried using acoustical foam pads on the ceiling wall? No, actually, I haven't. And the reason for that is I'm more afraid of the lights heating up and setting the foam on fire, because I know the foam there could potentially be issues with fire. What's the word? They're not fire retardant or something. I don't know. So I'm just afraid that they might get too close to the lights or whatever. But the foam that you see like here, that's a bass trap, and I've got them in various other places here around the studio. There's actually one right at the wall here behind the TV, and that's not so much for sound isolation. So I mean, that's not going to absorb sound to where you're not going to hear it on the other side of the house or through the wall. But what that's actually preventing, and it's preventing reflection, audio wave reflections from bouncing around the room that will cause phase cancellations. That could be a problem if you're mixing, for example. Now, if I'm sitting there like recording or just jamming or practicing or whatever, none of that's going to matter because I'm going to be sitting here, I'm going to be listening, and everything's fine. But if I'm actually sitting and trying to like mix a piece of music, and I'm trying to get the EQ and trying to equalize the bass and the guitars, the drums, the vocals, whatever, trying to get all that sitting right in the mix so this way it'll sound properly, whether on your iPad or on someone's iPhone or on someone's Harman Kardon's car stereo somewhere in Timbuktu, then the music has to be properly frequency analyzed and balanced and all that other stuff. And the problem that you're going to run into, especially like in a home studio that's not been properly tuned and treated and so forth, is when you've got the speakers coming out, the sound coming out of the speakers, the sound waves are going to bounce around, right? So like they'll come out of the speakers here and they'll go back to the back and then they'll come back, and they essentially just back and forth. So when you have that, so when these frequencies are going this way and then they're coming back, if the timing of them lines up in such a way as some frequencies or some sound waves are coming back this way, and you have other ones going back the other way, if they overlap each other, and if they happen to be like the same frequency, whatever, I mean, I'm kind of simplifying, but for the most part, uh, if they end up running into each other, they actually cause a phase. They call it, it's called a phase cancellation. So what happens is the frequencies actually cancel each other out. It's sort of the same idea you've heard about, like those noise isolating headphones or whatever they call them. Bose has them and whatever. So you put them on and basically it eliminates noise. From my understanding, they work on that whole phase cancellation issue. So what they do is they actually record the sound. There's like a DSP in the headphones. It actually records the sound coming in that you're hearing, the airplane, hum, whatever. It samples the sound, this DSP. The DSP then sits there and flips the phase of that sound and then plays the inverted phase at the same time as what's coming through. So what ends up happening is your I'm going to kind of roughly draw your sound wave. And no, these are not boobs. Oh man, it must be. You know what? Because of the weather, I bet you it's probably Comcast. They're probably having issues or something. So if you look at this here, I know this is a terrible mock-up, but anyway, so like on these headphones, not these, but like those noise cancellation, and it's again that whole principle on phase cancellation. So you have your frequency wave, the sound wave of the noise of the airplane. Okay, let's say this is the actual wave. Okay, coming like that. Well, the headphones sample that sound. There's a DSP chip inside the headphones that's going to process this. It hears the sound coming in. It takes the phase of that and flips it, basically like flips it 180 degrees. So it goes from like positive to negative or negative to positive or whatever. And what it does is it plays it back at the same time that at the same time you're hearing it. So what's happening is you're hearing this is coming in. This is what's coming in from the airplane, from the noise itself. And then the headphones are actually sampling it and playing it back in a negative fashion on the other side. So when you add this to this, you actually get 0 because this is like plus 10. That's like minus 10. I mean, it's not drawing the scale, obviously, but that's the idea. So what ends up happening is just by them making that like that little noise in the headphones, it cancels out the other sound. It's kind of neat technology. So that same token, that's why you've got these foam things inside the studio. And when you go into you see any recording studio, they've got foam pieces and other more elaborate, expensive, decorative type foam absorbing, sound wave absorbing materials that they use for that purpose. So when the frequencies bounce around the room, you don't have these frequencies getting canceled out. So then when you're trying to do your mix, if you're like, well, there's not enough bass and I'm not hearing enough bass. Well, if the bass is getting canceled out from this phenomena of the phase cancellation, you're going to artificially be boosting more bass in that particular song or that album or whatever. And then when someone listens to it who doesn't have the frequency problems with stuff bouncing around in their setup, it's going to sound like crap because it's going to sound super bassy. There's going to be too much bass, and you have to catch that at the mix stage. So kind of a long-winded answer to what the foam is, but the foam doesn't actually make it less quiet outside the studio. It's just to prevent, frequency builds up. And by the same token, you can have the opposite happen too. So when the wave forms are bouncing around the room, not only can they cancel each other out, they can also amplify each other as well. So if you happen to catch it the right way, you can add the two waves together and suddenly your high frequencies are off the scale, and they're not really. It's just that they bounced around in such a way that they actually sound louder than they really are. So, and again, that doesn't translate well if you're trying to, do your mixing and everything else. So, anyway, we get off now to the weather in Texas. The weather's been really, really cold. I mean, like I was saying earlier, it's like 31 degrees when I was coming home from work today. So, bit cold, so I spent some time working on the pipes outside, make sure I was all looking legit. That's why I was a little late. But so, yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, it was probably like last February when we last had a day this cold here in Texas. So, anyway, so cold weather in Texas, and this weekend, cold weather, football, rock on. Got the Houston Texans hosting the Oakland Raiders tomorrow at our NRG Stadium. I'm a Houstonian. I've been here like 20 plus years now. I grew up near Boston, actually. I am not a Patriots fan, not in the least. Sorry, folks, I'm not a Patriots fan at all. I actually, oddly enough, I grew up a Dolphins fan in the heart of New England territory, and I actually got to see both Miami and the Patriots play at Foxborough several times. We usually go there at the end of the year to watch like one of the final games of the season, usually Miami, at New England. And it was fun. A lot of good games that I saw. Dan Marino was just awesome. He was like, excuse me, my favorite quarterback, my favorite player. And kind of sucked when he retired, but you know what? We all get old. We all have to turn in our boots one day. So anyway, but after Marino retired, everything just kind of went to hell. I just haven't really followed up with the Finns so much, and I just kind of got out of football altogether. Just stopped paying attention to it, whatever, and started watching it again here a couple of years back, fantasy football, and tried my hand at that, with work and stuff, and it was okay. Had some fun. This year I finished in third, and so I started getting into football again, and here we are in the playoffs. So Miami made it to the playoffs, which is really, really good. I'm optimistic they might could win on Sunday against the Steelers. So fingers crossed there. But through the fantasy football I've been doing from work, oddly enough, I became a Russell Wilson fan. So he's like my new favorite quarterback. The guy's got skills, man. The guy's got skills. The guy's a great quarterback. Anyway, so I'm a defunct now. Well, not a defunct, but I'm a Johnny-come-lately Seattle Seahawks fan as well. So I guess I got Miami on the AFC side, and I got Seattle on the NFC side. So maybe I could hope for a Miami and Seattle Super Bowl, right? Probably won't happen. At least not on the AFC side, I don't think. But hey, here's to wishing. So let's see. And I'm going to make a kind of an announcement. I'm going to try to set up a schedule and maybe some topics, and probably have some just kind of like informal chat sessions like we're doing this hanging out business or whatever. And I'll probably end up doing, I don't know if I'll do it on a segment basis or on a show basis, but I'll probably end up getting into stuff where I start geeking out on stuff, and might be subtitling the show the ShredGeek or something like that, because I'm kind of geek on phones and guitar, some computer stuff, games, whatever, studio, of course, guitars, shred. Certainly not like the world's foremost shredder. I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy what I do. I have fun doing it. And it is what it is, So, but I really enjoy talking about gear and stuff like that. So I'll be geeking out about gear. I enjoy talking about football, and now that I'm back into football, I'll be geeking out on football. So we can all, enjoy the geeking and the shredding and all that other good stuff. And probably do some live music here. You can see some of the stuff over here. Some of you remember from some of my my videos that I had done, my reviews. I've done the Dark Terror, the Tube Meister. This one you haven't heard yet. Well, I should take that back. If you've actually seen my or heard my song "Anger of the Gods," all the guitars were recorded with this amp right here. And it was actually a DI. Is what I did. Is I recorded it through my Focusrite into Sonar, and let's see, into Sonar. I think I monitored, in real time using TH2 in software, so I could hear the guitars while I was playing it, with the delays and the distortions and everything, and record the DI track. And then when I was coming to mix, I had already had this thing set up. I had done some testing with the sounds and whatnot, and found the sounds I wanted out of that beast, and ran that. Actually, that was ran into a Randall isolation cabinet, which actually had a Celestion Heritage 30, yeah. So it was a Celestion Heritage 30. Is that a 30? Yeah, because it's half the wattage of the Vintage 60, or the Vintage 30, which actually handles 60 watts, oddly enough. So no, the Heritage speaker is a 30-watt speaker, and I've got that in the isolation cabinet. And I moved the Vintage 30 that was in the isolation cabinet and put it in this Avatar cabinet down here. So now that cabinet actually has two Vintage 30s in it, which actually hold 60 watts apiece. Long story. So anyway, so this is actually a Jet City JCA 22H. It's a 20-watt all-tube head. It's like two channels. Well, it's a normal channel and the overdrive channel, and then your main treble, middle, bass, presence, and your master volumes and something or other. But it actually had been modified by BFG Amplifiers out of Salem, Oregon, I believe. I think he's out on the West Coast. And he did a handful of mods. So let's say a ton, but maybe a handful. He put all new caps in it. He put a boost mod in there. There's a what do they call it? Not a kill switch. He put some other mod on the back. It's like a depth control, but it's got a pull push thing, a function on it is also, I forget what he called it. Anyway, but yeah, this amp sounds crazy sick. Like, you really can't see it from here, but I've got the preamp gain on like 4, and it's got more gain than any other amp I think I've ever played. I mean, it's insane. It's just, I love it. So anyway, so yeah, so be looking forward to Shred Geeks, and if you've got suggestions and ideas for the show, just leave me a comment here, or you can shoot me an email at ShredGeek@petercruzmusic.com, or just shoot me a message on Google Plus or here on YouTube or whatever. So. Or on Facebook. You can catch me on Facebook too. So I'm working on all the social media stuff. I haven't got it all sorted out yet, but little by little, I'm trying to get it all taken care of. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks, guys, for hanging out, for stopping by on this chilly Friday night here in Texas. So rock on, and I think that's all we got. So thanks so much, and God bless. We'll talk to you later. Bye.